On a stormy evening in a quiet library, Ayan thought he had finally found love, but when a mysterious stranger walked in with a single envelope, Meher's hidden past began to unfold, and the truth inside could change their lives forever. One rainy evening, one hidden past, and one envelope that could break a beautiful love story. What secret was Meher hiding from Ayan? Ayan believed Meher was the most beautiful chapter of his life, until the night a stranger walked into the library and revealed a secret that could destroy everything. In the middle of a thunderstorm, the lights suddenly went out, and Meher was forced to reveal a truth she had been hiding from Ayan since the day they met. What would you do if the person you love had a secret past, and one unexpected visitor arrived to reveal it? This is the emotional story of Ayan, Meher, and a love tested by truth. In a quiet village surrounded by golden fields and whispering winds, lived a young man named Ayan. He was known for his calm nature and kind heart. Every morning he walked the same dusty road to the small town library where he worked. His life was simple, predictable, until the day he saw her. One rainy afternoon, as thunder rolled across the sky, a girl rushed into the library to escape the storm. Her long wet hair clung to her shoulders, and tiny drops of rain sparkled on her face like diamonds. Ayan looked up from his book, and for a moment the entire world seemed to fall silent. Her name was Meher. She smiled politely as she placed a few old books on the counter. "I hope I'm not disturbing you," she said softly. Ayan felt his heart beat faster. "Not at all," he replied, trying to hide his nervousness. Days passed, and Meher began visiting the library often. Sometimes she came to read novels, sometimes just to sit near the window and watch the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. Slowly, small conversations turned into long talks. They shared stories, dreams, and quiet laughter. Ayan discovered that Meher loved poetry and believed that every person had a hidden story waiting to be told. Meher learned that Ayan secretly wrote poems but had never shown them to anyone. One evening, as the golden sun disappeared behind the hills, Meher asked him, "Ayan, if you could write a story about love, what would it be like?" Ayan looked at her, his eyes full of emotions he had never spoken aloud. Just as he was about to answer, the library doors suddenly opened, and a tall stranger stepped inside, his eyes searching the room until they stopped on Meher. The sudden entrance of the stranger made the quiet library feel tense. Rain was still tapping softly against the windows, but inside, everything felt strangely silent. Ayan noticed the way Meher's smile slowly faded as her eyes met the stranger's. The man walked closer, his footsteps echoing across the wooden floor. "Meher," he said firmly. Ayan felt a strange heaviness in his chest. He had never seen this man before, but something about his presence felt unsettling. Meher stood up slowly from her chair near the window. "What are you doing here, Zion?" she asked quietly. So he had a name. Zion. The man glanced briefly at Ayan before turning his full attention back to Meher. "I've been looking for you everywhere," he said. "You disappeared without telling anyone." Ayan tried to focus on arranging the books on the counter, but every word reached his ears. 1,000 questions rushed through his mind. Who was this man? Why did Meher look so nervous? Meher crossed her arms as if trying to protect herself. "I didn't disappear," she replied softly. "I just needed time." Zion's voice grew colder. "Time? After everything that happened, you think you can just walk away?" The tension between them filled the small room. Ayan finally looked up, unable to ignore the situation any longer. For the first time, Zion turned toward him fully. "And who is he?" Zion asked sharply. Meher hesitated for a moment. That brief pause made Ayan's heart race. Then she spoke. "He's a friend." The word friend felt strangely heavy in the air. Zion let out a quiet laugh that didn't sound friendly at all. "A friend," he said. "Interesting." Outside, the rain began to fall harder, as if the storm was returning. Meher looked at Ayan, and in her eyes he saw something he had never seen before, fear mixed with trust. Then she said softly, Ayan, there's something I should have told you from the beginning. Ayan felt his heartbeat rise again. But before she could continue, Zayan suddenly placed a small envelope on the table between them, and the moment Ayan saw Meher's shocked expression, he realized whatever was inside that envelope could change everything. Ayan stared at the small envelope lying on the wooden table. The room felt heavier than before, as if the air itself was waiting for someone to speak. Meher's hands trembled slightly as she looked at it. Open it, Zayan said calmly, though his voice carried a sharp edge. Meher shook her head. Why are you doing this, Zayan? It's over. Zayan gave a faint smile. Is it? Ayan felt completely lost. Just hours ago the evening had been peaceful, the quiet library, the golden sunset, Meher's soft voice asking him about love stories. Now everything felt uncertain. Finally, Meher slowly picked up the envelope. Her fingers hesitated before tearing it open. A photograph slipped out and landed on the table. Ayan's eyes widened. It was a picture of Meher, standing beside Zayan. They looked close, almost too close. Meher's hand was in his, and both of them were smiling as if they shared a deep bond. Ayan felt something twist inside his chest. Zayan leaned back slightly. You never told your friend about us, did you? Meher quickly picked up the photo. That was years ago, she said quietly. Things were different then. Different? Zayan replied. You promised you'd never leave. The rain outside had turned into a storm now, thunder rumbling across the sky. Ayan felt as if the same storm had entered his heart. He looked at Meher, searching her face for answers. Meher, what is he talking about? Ayan asked gently. For a moment she couldn't speak. Her eyes moved between Ayan and Zayan as if she was trapped between two worlds. Finally, she took a deep breath. Ayan, she said softly, Zayan isn't just someone from my past. Before she could finish the sentence, the lights in the library suddenly went out. The entire room fell into darkness. The entire library fell into darkness. Outside, thunder cracked across the sky and the rain poured harder than before. For a few seconds, no one spoke. Only the sound of the storm filled the room. Ayan's heart was racing. Meher, he called softly. I'm here, she replied from the darkness. Zayan's voice came from the other side of the room. Looks like the storm doesn't want us to finish this conversation. A faint emergency light near the exit flickered on, casting a soft glow across the library. In that dim light, Ayan could see Meher's face clearly. She looked tired, as if she had been carrying a heavy secret for a long time. Meher slowly turned toward Ayan. Ayan. Zayan and I were once engaged, she said quietly. Years ago our families arranged it. I believed it was the right path, but I slowly realized we were never meant for each other. Zayan looked away but didn't interrupt. I left because I wanted to live honestly, Meher continued. Not because I hated him, but because I couldn't lie to my own heart. She looked directly at Ayan. When I came to this village and met you, for the first time I felt peace. I didn't tell you about my past because I was afraid you might see me differently. The room grew silent again. Zayan sighed deeply. I didn't come here to force you back, he said slowly. I came because I wanted closure. He looked at Ayan. Take care of her. She chooses with her heart, not with fear. With that, Zayan quietly walked toward the door and disappeared into the storm. Ayan looked at Meher for a long moment. Then he smiled gently. Everyone has a past, he said. But what matters is the truth we choose today. Meher's eyes filled with tears of relief as the storm outside slowly began to calm. And in that quiet library, between old books and fading thunder, a new chapter of their story finally began. Moral: true love is built on honesty, courage, and the freedom to follow one's heart, even when the past tries to hold it back.